President-elect Donald Trump's choice for Education Secretary under fire from the left, with Teachers Union Chief Randy Weingarten calling Betsy DeVos, quote, the most ideological anti-public ed nominee since the creation of the Department of Education. DeVos, a Michigan philanthropist and school choice advocate, is chair of the American Federation for Children, where my next guest is a founding board member and executive counsel. Kevin Chavis joins me now from Washington. So welcome to the program. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Paul. Thank you.
Yeah. So the left, the unions are saying Betsy DeVos wants to gut public education, that's her agenda. What's your response?
Well, that's absolutely not the case. I mean, Betsy DeVos is an excellent choice. I've worked closely with her for many years. And in spite of the hype around this notion that she wants to privatize education, nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, what she really wants to do is empower parents, because so many parents have kids who are trapped in bad schools. And I must say, Paul, one of the most amazing things about the union politics, they don't like any education secretary. You know, one of the things they said about Arnie Duncan was he's destroying what it means to teach and learn. They came out against John King. So anyone who bucks the status quo, they're going to be against it. Doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. So I think Betsy DeVos is in good company if they're talking about, you know, they don't like her.
Okay, now let's talk about the agenda at the national level. You and Betsy DeVos have really in the trenches fighting for school choice at the state and local level. But what can an education secretary do from Washington to promote that agenda?
Well, there are a couple things. One is to have a school choice advocate. And again, the essence of school choice is putting the power in the hands of the parents, not the government or the bureaucracy. That's a far cry different from the way public education has been run over the past several years. But to have a school choice advocate as the leader of education is that bully pulpit. And she's going to make sure that policies are in place that help parents be able to find quality options for their kids.
So, but you don't have a lot of money at the federal level. As you know, most of the money is state and local. So you don't have that leverage. And plus, the Congress passed an update to No Child Left Behind earlier this year, so you're not going to change that law. So it's basically bully pulpit and maybe a little money at the margin. Is that how you do it?
Money, but it also sets the right tone. I mean, look at the attention that her selection has already been given. It sends a message to parents that they matter. It sends a message to kids that we're going to deal with your needs today and not tomorrow. And the other thing that's really, really important, it sends a message to the status quo that the status quo is unacceptable. Yes, most of the action is in the individual states, but there's so much that can be done in terms of leveraging public funds, and I'm sure that Secretary DeVos will do that in terms of creating better options for the states to access money to promote school choice.
And from your point of view, it doesn't matter if they're charter schools, choice of charters, which are forms of public schools, or vouchers that can go to private or even religious schools. From your point of view, either one's okay.
Either one's okay, and the more the better. And I think that each jurisdiction needs to pick the form of choice that works for them. But keep in mind that no school district has ever reformed itself from within. The best form of reform, frankly, and pressure comes by way of school choice. If you look at what's happened in D.C., in Florida, in Milwaukee, I mean, in New Orleans, because they had robust and diversified school choice offerings, it energized the local school system to reform itself. That's what I think that Betsy DeVos, her leadership, can demonstrate, and I think people will embrace that.
Now, what you've been doing with American Federation for Children is to fight basically across the country in legislative districts in the states against the unions to be able to turn some of these legislatures more towards the pro-choice, pro-reform argument. Tell us how that's been going. I know it's an underreported story that you guys had a lot of victories this year.
Well, we do, and one of the things that I'm very proud of working with Betsy and the fellow board members under Bill Oberdorf's leadership that we've been able to accomplish is we actually go to individual states, we design laws that work for kids, we elect legislators who support promoting school choice. And the beautiful thing about it, which flies in the face of the union rhetoric, is we're bipartisan. We elect a lot of Democrats and Republicans who support school choice. And the hallmark of Betsy's leadership when she was our chair is that she believes in collaboration. I think that's going to be the big surprise, Paul. I think she's going to be a star in the cabinet because she believes in reaching out across the aisle and putting politics secondary to the interests of kids. And frankly, it's the toxic nature of politics in America that has infected our education policy. And I think Betsy's going to go a long way toward removing that.
And you came up as a Democrat in Washington, D.C., as I recall, on the city council.
I did, and I helped, start our charter movement and our voucher program, our scholarship program. And look, after 10 years of our scholarship program in D.C., we've got 6,000 kids who have benefited from it. And get this, of those 6,000 kids, 90% have graduated from high school, some of the best private schools in the area. And then those 90% of those graduates have gone on to college. It's been a life-changing experience. And, this is what school choice is all about. It's about making sure parents are able to afford these options that otherwise they wouldn't be able to get.
All right, Kevin Chavez, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.